Welcome back, everybody, and thank you for joining us here on Instagram once again. Hey, it's Wine Wednesday, and I'm Christian Laroche, sales manager for Waldorf Wine Group here in British Columbia, and I'm so glad you could join us here once again on Instagram. Wine Wednesday, as the name implies, this is something we started a number of years ago, May of 2020, and for us, it's our way of pivoting online and bringing you Waldorf Wine Group content. For those of you not familiar with us, Waldorf Wine Group, we're a small family-owned wine importing company started back in 1993 by Andy Waldorf, and we only bring in European wines into British Columbia and Alberta, and we've got an eclectic portfolio, wines from all over Europe, co-op cellars, small family estates, classified growth Bordeaux chateaux, small Burgundy domains, small German producers, ultra traditional Rioja, and everything in between. Like I said, it's an eclectic portfolio. We offer great value wines at all price points, and we got a cool wine for you this week. This is what I like to call a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's a bit of a country cousin, as it were. And I love wines like these. Not totally well known, not a household name, but well worth discovering and checking out. This is a wine that we currently bring into British Columbia, and we had it here a number of years ago. And we love these wines because they definitely punch above their weight. They're a next door neighbor to a much, much more famous region. They offer same grapes, same soils, but because it's not so well known as its next door neighbor, way better price points. And we love wines like these that just over deliver. So, yeah, why don't we flip the camera, show what we're trying. Hey, before we do anything, I just want to say hello to our good friend David Lancelot. Glad you could join us, David. Always great to see you here. I also invite you, if you have not done so already, please do follow us on Instagram. We'd love to have you join us. 564 followers and counting. So, yeah, so let's flip the camera. Show what we're going to be deep diving into this week. We are in Catalonia, Spain. Yeah, northeast Spain. There we are. Fred, Sola Fred is back in town. This is from the Holy Mountain, Montsant, DO in Catalonia. About 140 kilometers southwest of Barcelona, and very, very close into the Mediterranean. It's a cool region, well, interesting region is what I mean. It's a warm region, dry region. We'll get into that in a wee bit when we pull it up on the Google Earth map, but great wines. We had this wine in a number of years ago. It was an exclusive that we had sold to the BC LDB a number of years ago. The first vintage we brought in actually got 97 points from Decanter magazine, and it was crazy well priced, and it still is crazy well priced. This is the newest vintage that just arrived, 2023, and we currently bring it in as a restricted speculative product, only available at private wine shops and restaurants. And this current vintage was just rated by Decanter magazine 95 points, so no slouch either. But these are really cool wines because they're Catalonian, but they bear quite a resemblance to Rhone wines. Same grapes, a lot of the same grapes that are grown in the Rhone Valley. But a little further southwest, of course, just southwest of Barcelona, and we get more, I would say, more Mediterranean influence. Although when we pull it up on the Google Earth map, we'll show you there's still quite a bit of a continental climate. But if you like those wines with, rich Brambly fruit, and all those garrigue characteristics, that undergrowth and the herbs and baking spice and the like too. A lot of these wines, I think, will go down a very, very similar path. But again, Montsant is not a household name at this point, so it's something well worth discovering. So that's why we like to have this, better private wine shops, enlightened sommeliers who will, show these to their guests. These are great wines as all-arounders. They're generous fruit. This one is what we call a Tinto Joven, a young, unoaked red. And this is your tapas wine. This is your bistro wine. This is your, midweek drinker for when friends and family drop over, if you're having a wedding or a party or a cocktail or anything like that, or an open house. This is sort of wine you would serve. It's nice enough to drink on its own. Doesn't have a lot of mouth-puckering tannin, and again, not a drop of oak. So it's a great party wine. And it's sort of wine that you could serve, before the meal and then throughout the meal. Full-bodied, we're talking 14.5% alcohol, lots of fruit, but still good, juicy acidity in behind it. So, again, kind of a lateral transfer from some of your Côte du Rhône wines, if you like that style. This is the product of Mas Roig, the Red Farm. And what that is it's a growers co-op that was founded back in 1917 in the village of Mas Roig in Catalonia. As mentioned, we're 140 kilometers southwest of Barcelona. And what it is, it represents 300 members who've been growing grapes on around 500 hectares of vineyards for many, many years. And they offer screaming good value from that region, doing wines. They make some great olive oil. There's almond trees and the like. And it's a beautiful, beautiful area. It is, and I can say this having been there, it's one of the absolute best places in Europe to drive a rental car. Lots of fun. Yeah, this is cool. We're up. You know what? This might actually be a good time. I think I might pull up the Google Earth map. Let's flip the camera around. I'll show you where we're located. And we are up, like I said, in the northeast corner. Let's get this bottle out of shot here momentarily. And up, as mentioned, northeast Spain. We are about 140 kilometers southwest of Barcelona. Now, next door to this, let's pull up the map. This is the Wine Scholar Guild map of Priorat and Montsant. So right smack dab in the middle here, this is the much, much more famous Priorat region. Well, this whole purpley pink area, like a donut, is the Montsant Holy Mountain region, which basically surrounds Priorat. So, basically you're getting the same soil, same grapes, but because it's not so well known, a lot of these wines are about a quarter to a third of the price of their next door, much more famous next door neighbors here. So screaming good value. Now for us, we're just a little bit to the south here. Here's El Mas Roig, the Red Farm. I'm just going to pull it up on the Google Earth map. So yeah, we are literally only about 25 to 30 kilometers inland from the Mediterranean, and sheltered here a little bit to the north. This is the Serre de Montsant, the Serre de Montsant mountain range, and what that does is it protects from the cold northerly winds that come in. And then there is a Mistral wind that comes in off of the Mediterranean to keep things warm and dry. And it really helps with disease as well, too. And we're just here as well, too, sort of in the river delta, river valley. This is where the Ebro River, one of the longest rivers, goes across north central Spain all the way through the Rioja region. And this is where it flows and eventually empties out into the Mediterranean. But for our purposes, we're just here, Cellar Mas Roig, the Red Farm. Whoops, pull it up there. There we are. I'll pull up a few shots here, actually. So we're about, the vineyards are scattered all around. As mentioned, they're working 500 hectares of vineyards and olive groves and almond trees. And this gives you an idea of the soil. It's mostly planted on the same red clay. You can see how bright red, the high iron content in there. But also the licorella slate as well, too. So as I mentioned, it enjoys the influence of the Mistral and the Garbi winds that take the edge off. It's a dry, hot region, even though it's quite close to the Mediterranean. It is still mostly affected as a continental climate. Cold winters, dry summers, not a lot of precipitation, but it's fairly protected. There's a lot of organic and biodynamic farming going on in this region. This wine is certified vegan. And this wine also, I said the vineyards are on average about 350 meters above sea level. This wine is a bit different because it is 100% Samso. Now that is also known as Carignan, a highly productive grape. And it really needs a decent bit of vine age and maybe lower yields to make something interesting out of it. I'm just going to flip the camera around once more, and like I said, there's the shot of the vineyard. Like I said, red clay gives you an idea of some of the older vines low to the ground. Again, that red clay soils. They also have some of these older huts along some of the walkways between some of the villages where, travelers could seek shelter when the weather was bad, and they still have them there as walking trails. Really, really beautiful area. I highly recommend it if you ever get a chance. I'm just going to pull the bottle back into shot. This is all hand harvested and cool fermented in stainless steel and bottled young, but basically to maintain freshness. As mentioned, this is the sort of wine that you'd, this is your tapas wine, your bistro wine, meant to be drunk young and fresh. As mentioned, this is the current vintage 2023, which is in the market. Only available at private shops and restaurants. Just starting to go out, but again, too, offers fantastic value. It's available all around the province. I picked up my samples at Marquis Wine Cellar, and we've got some on the island. Caddy Bay, vintage spirits, and a few places all up in the Okanagan as well. So it's just starting to make its way out. Look for it. This wine, as I mentioned, all fermented, cool fermented in stainless steel using indigenous yeasts, bottled young to maintain freshness. What I like about the Carignan wines is they are fairly opulent, but they have a real earthiness to them. This wine in particular, I find, tends to display a little bit more of that, not only the garrigue and the red berry, but also a little bit of a kind of a licorice and a cured meat note, but also a lot of baking spice notes. I've always enjoyed that in the wine. And you know what? I think this may be a good time to give the wine a try. I see a few people joining us here as well. We are in Catalonia. We are in Montsant, the Holy Mountain region. This is a border region, basically, that surrounds the much, much more famous Priorat region. So offers same soils, same grapes. But again, because this DO is not as well known, great value wines here. As mentioned before, not a million miles away from Côte du Rhône in terms of style. Fairly inky, opulent wines, lots of fruit, lots of garrigue, and the like. So well worth exploring. So let's hook the camera in. We're going to give the wine a try. I opened this wine up not too long ago. It's a young pup, of course. Now again, this wine is a little bit more full body, but it's not over the top. 14.5% alcohol. Doesn't have a lot of course, there's no wood tannin because this is all done in stainless steel. Maybe a little bit of fruit tannin, but this wine is all about freshness of fruit and juicy acidity. This is the sort of wine too, as we get into the warmer seasons and you're around the barbecue, around the pool. It's a more fruit-forward red wine. It's the sort of wine that takes well to a bit of a chill as well. You can put it in the fridge for about 15, 20 minutes, freshen up the fruit a little bit when it's blazing hot out. The worst thing is that your red wine gets hot and soupy. That's never any fun. So I always tell people, the 15-minute rule before dinner, 15, 20-minute rule before dinner, red goes in the fridge, white comes out of the fridge. Because we tend to drink our white wines too cold or red wines too warm. So check it out. A youthful wine, to be sure, a 2023 vintage. So we have a deep, dark, purpley, blackish purpley core, and a vivid purpley pink rim. And this wine just jumps out of the glass with fresh fruit. Holy cow, I can smell the berries from here. I'm leaning more towards pomegranate, maybe a little bit of black cherry in here too. Plum for sure, maybe a bit of blueberry as well too. Really interesting notes. I'm definitely picking up a little bit more of that sort of licorice and that cured meat note. Reminds me a little bit of like pancetta or something going on in there too, but also baking spice. I'm picking up a little bit of like a clove or even like a little bit of star anise on that too. Really interesting nose. Let's give it a swirl and a sniff and a taste rather. Snap of acidity in the finish. Very plump, but still lively, kind of meaty. Again, that cured meat note really comes in, and again, it washes over the mid palate. Again, I'm picking up again that sort of nutmeg, clove, baking spice note as well too. Little tug of fruit tannin, medium plus bodied. I'd say low to medium tannin, but medium acidity, very, very refreshing. Opulent, but not cloying. And again, I'm not getting a lot of heat, despite this being around 14.5 alcohol. Just going to have another quick sip if I may. That fans out quite nicely in the mid palate. Really, really enjoying that. Juicy. Wouldn't call it gulpable, but I mean, it's a good all-arounder. I could certainly have that without food. Very versatile. I could see this being a great, tapas, pizza wine, pulled pork, grilled sausages, that sort of thing. Lamb burgers. We do lamb burgers. We do skinny patties, and we put a little bit of goat's cheese in the middle and do a patty stack. Those are really good. But yeah, lots go with it. Tacos, dumplings, what have you. But yeah, we're in Catalonia. We're trying a country cousin to Priorat. This is right next door. Surrounding region, this is Montsant, Holy Mountain. This is from Roig, the Red Farm. 95 points from Decanter magazine for not an awful lot of money. This is going out into private shops and restaurants as we speak. The 2023 vintage, Sola Fred. This was during Barcelona Wine Week. This was named the top co-op in Catalonia. As mentioned, they were founded back in 1917. They represent 300 members farming 500 hectares of vineyards and olive groves and almond trees. Really great wines. We've been bringing them in for a number of years. As mentioned, they have a lot of the same characteristics as the much, much more expensive Priorat wines. Yeah, for not a lot of coin. So check it out if you have a chance. Highly, highly recommended. Business-wise, still lots of stuff rolling in as we speak. We've got some more Bordeaux wines about to arrive. A reload of our single vineyard dry Loire Valley Chenin Blanc, the Saumur Les Pouches, is back in. We still have a limited quantity of some of our Lopez de Heredia wines, ultra traditional Riojas. If you're interested in any of those, drop me a line, DM me, or shoot me a quick email at christian@waldorfwine.com. And that's Christian, KHRISTIAN, @waldorfwine.com. What else can I tell you? Some Willie Schaefer came in. Yeah, we got some 2023 Gracker Domprost Riesling Spätlese AP number 10 in, just arrived. What else have we got in? Some more of our Schwab Kiebel Urziger Würzgarten just landed, still clearing as we speak. We've moved on to the new vintage of that one. It's another Riesling Auslese. We're on to the new vintage, 2002. Crazy old school wines for not an awful lot of money. So those will be becoming available soon. Yeah, that's about it for now. Lots of wine still in the pipeline. Hey, as I mentioned before, if you have not done so already, I do invite you to please follow us on Instagram. We'd love to have you join us. Wine Wednesdays, the name implies, we do this every week. We've been doing this since May of 2020, and it's a great way to keep up to date with all things Waldorf Wine Group. That's about it for now. Take care. Hope to see you next week. Not sure what we're going to be doing, but we'll dig something out of the tickle trunk. Hey, maybe we'll do one of the Lopez de Heredia wines, some of the new vintages. The Tondonia 2012 is in, the Bosconia 2013. By the way, check out the email from Marquee Wine Cellars. They're just releasing their Lopez de Heredia wines this week. They sent out a mail out this week, so check it out if you want to get some. They've got a great selection, probably the best selection in the province right now. So check it out. Blink and you'll miss it, okay? Take care. See you soon. Bye for now.